The road to faith was a lifetime in the making. When it comes to faith and church overall, when I was a child, it was non-existent. My mom maybe took more of a middle ground approach of, you can figure out for yourself, but I personally am anti-God, anti-church. My dad, I love that man. He's a very intelligent man. He does his research, but he has a disdainment for church. So they are both very anti-church, anti-establishment, anti-church, and in essence anti-God, because they don't really see how God can exist outside of the structure of church. So for me, it was really just don't talk about it. Then when I became an adult, I was very anti-church, anything church. If you were my friend and you said church, we had a problem because now I'm questioning you, you're a robot, I'm not. And so like all of those things. And then I meet somebody and he is my favorite person on earth. So when he's telling me to go to church and how important church is for him and all of these things, I'm thinking, wait a minute, this puts a wrench in our situation. I don't quite know how to handle this. And I was very against it. And then one day I get pregnant and I have a light that goes on in my head that says there is something missing. There is something that there's something very wrong with this picture. And so through months of depression, my pregnancy was very hard. My pregnancy, emotionally and internally, my pregnancy was very, very tough. And people just loved me through. And so once my daughter was born, she was born in April, and I had a few months of just getting adjusted, but then I went back adjusted. And then when I went back to work, my sister-in-law invited me to this brand new church that they just discovered that's right down the street. So I had no excuses. And so I came and I cried and I listened and I felt I sank into my seat because I felt dumb. I felt like I spent so many years fighting the idea of church, fighting the structure that came with church, fighting the fact that another man is supposed to be teaching me something that I'm supposed to be getting from a higher being from start, fighting all these things. And then you sit there and it starts with the worship. You hear a song that speaks to you that says everything that you can't say out loud because you're too embarrassed. And then you hear a man that you've never met before, but looks very similar to you. He's not old. He doesn't look like, he's lived 3 lives and then he's just going to tell you the things that you're not supposed to do based off of what he did. He's my age and he's laughing, he's joking, he's saying things that some people might even feel are inappropriate. But he's doing it all with the understanding that it's going to help me better understand. A person like myself who doesn't speak church language is going to help me better understand. And I joined that day. I sat in the back for about a year and cried and questioned if I made the right decision and questioned everything I ever understood about life. And then I got involved. And then from getting involved, I started to volunteer even more. I started to work. And now my desire is to minister to people in so many different ways that I don't see how now I could live without, one, God, and then 2, the family that I've created here. I mean, everybody has become family. When I think about Jesus and all that Jesus has done for me and all that Jesus can do for anyone, my message to any person in my shoes or who are in similar shoes would be, don't get lost with the rhetoric that you hear from people who are lost themselves. Be an individual and find out for yourself. It doesn't hurt you to step into the church and to find out if it's really what you think it is. But it only helps you if you step in and you find out that it was the complete opposite of what you thought it was. My life is completely different. I mean, every day is not perfect. I still have a lot of hurdles that I have to jump over, and me and God still have to talk daily. I'm still learning how to talk to God and how to not write my own story and pretend like it's God telling me that. So, I mean, I'm still working through all of that, but I mean, it's night and day. I used to be depressed and not understand why. I used to blame everyone for everything that happened to me and didn't take ownership. I used to say, if God exists, then how come all of these negative things happen? Not realizing that people exist. So that's probably why a lot of these negative things happen. I mean, a fallen condition, a lot of things that you just learn from being in a space with people who at first don't think like you, but in reality give you something deeper than you could have ever gotten if you stayed in that negative, detached, scared, lonely space. So again, the thing I would say to them is just try it out. At least the worst that can happen is you don't like it, and you have a story now to go with why you don't like it. This is us. Invite.